Then we get Lauren back in the gym.
How is that legal?
Why is this song the perfect ending?
Is anyone not corrupt? What's up, you crazy cat people? I'm Hannah with CinemaBlend, and I am here to watch Tiger King Episode 7, the finale of the series, which feels like it's been about 8 seasons long. Am I ready? Probably not. Assuming we're gonna hear Joe's side of things, which I'm sure will be very interesting, to say the least, so I'm gonna go ahead and dive right in. This episode's only 41 minutes. There's so much left to wrap up.
I'm in a cage. You know why animals die in cages?
Joe, didn't you say you believed in karma?
I offered Tim Stark a partnership.
It's a collaboration between two of the most notorious assholes in the industry.
I hope this docuseries isn't like bringing these zoos a bunch of business.
Federal authorities made some key discoveries, bones of big cats.
They said that Joe had shot 5 tigers and they dug them up and found the skulls.
They trumped up all of the wildlife charges to put pressure on Joe because the murder for hire charge was so flimsy. That's why they came up with the other 20
You do the
silly-ass
same
charges.
thing. Can you investigate all these other people and see how many tigers they're killing?
That zoo down in Thackerville, that was my idea, but things started to sour. Jeff would be indicted if it wasn't for me.
He says, I stuck my neck out for you, and why wouldn't you put my name on your zoo? I said, you know, James, it just doesn't work like that.
I'd agree
Where it
with
went bad
that.
with James and I is he couldn't have possibly afforded to pitch in.
So how involved was Jeff Lowe in plotting this whole plan to kill Carole?
All right, you're not gonna show this to the defense attorney when I lay it all out.
Did you not think this would be aired?
Jeff Lowe helped put the thing together. Jeff Lowe told me on the phone that he was gonna use Alan Glover.
Remember, this is about getting Joe in trouble, getting him locked up for what he did.
They would have to fucking promise me not to fucking lock my ass up for
I
that.
think they're going to do the same thing with me before they give me immunity. They want to meet with me and make sure that what I have to tell them is good enough for a conviction. Once that happens, then they say, okay, well, here's your
deal.
Here's what we'll do for them. And they'll have to do the same thing with you.
What is true?
I was contacted by an FBI agent. He said point blank, are you going to be on Team Government or are you going to be on Team Joe? That's the scariest moment of my life.
We talk about shootings and killings every day, but people will protest and they will not tolerate animal abuse. It was almost strategic to bring all of these charges at the same time.
Well, yeah.
And I knew he just shot Cuddles. I heard it. And he come up the hill and goes, God damn, Eric. If I knew it was going to be this easy, just walk right up to the cage. I'll just go kill them all. There's no way for me to stop it.
What?
I was surprised he didn't want to do it himself, but I wasn't surprised that he would try to follow through.
I was Joe's right-hand man.
Were all these people just intimidated by the government, or do they actually?
I don't know what I'd go to prison for, but trying to make sure I don't go. I didn't see anybody there for Joe, like nobody there for
And what about
him
his husband?
as a person.
So he really must have treated everybody like crap, like they were saying.
Jeff Lowe is a very skilled con man. How is he not facing any charges? I don't think that it is any surprise that he did not testify. Why? He would have perjured himself.
Like that story about going to Florida, it never happened.
Everything's corrupt.
Well, there were mixed stories, but Alan apparently testified that he actually came to Florida.
I didn't go to fucking Tampa. What the hell I want to go there for? I wasn't going to kill no motherfucking body. He could have gave me $1 million fucking dollars. I went and killed that fucking woman. That's enough. I wouldn't even went to fucking Florida on a vacation. Apparently, I chickened the fuck out and didn't make it there.
Yeah, what?
Lying under oath is supposed to mean something.
Whoa.
Oh
my God.
Joe took the stand, and that's something that I don't think anyone expected.
Why? The dude is a showman.
I told him that it's right before Thanksgiving he won't do anything I ask him to do. He says he doesn't work for me.
You did do that.
When the text message worked, Jeff said, okay, well maybe I'll be better off in South Carolina. Thanksgiving Day, I had cooked dinner for 150 people. I could put together $3,000 to give Alan. It was out of the cash register on Jeff's orders to give it to Alan.
I was nervous that it only takes one holdout to make it a hung jury.
To me, it appears he was set up each
There's
step of
just
the
so
way.
many
He's not smart enough to
unknowns.
go through
I
with what he
don't
did.
even know how you
Who
could
hires a $3,000
convict
hitman?
beyond
He's
a
also
reasonable
stupid.
doubt. I have so many doubts.
Country traveling.
Jeff Lowe set him up.
Did I encourage him from time to time? Probably, because I wanted that soundbite to give
But was he
to
gonna
the
do that
authorities
stuff anyway?
to convict him and get him out of this business.
How is that
This call is
legal?
recorded for monitoring.
It was part of the government's evidence that we showed the jury a variety of the social media postings that Mr. Passage had made that referenced Miss Baskin in a violent way.
Why aren't these filmmakers asking her about Jeff?
The jury came back finding Joseph Maldonado Passage guilty on all 19 counts.
A lot of people questioned, is Jeff Lowe, should he face charges as well?
He's a director of a zoo. I mean, it's the same zoo
Yeah,
that Joe
wha-
has, so.
I don't understand the lack.
got
I mean,
what
I
they
guess
wanted.
he made a deal with the Feds, so that's why he's not being
Tiger King in jail.
pursued.
In a cage.
But it's just
It's pretty ironic.
I generally keep these little bottles of champagne for when good things happen. That definitely was a champagne and brie evening.
If ever I would leave you, it couldn't be in springtime. I never could go.
like it just doesn't seem real.
Howie, it's gonna be 15 minutes.
She laughs at things a lot that she really should not be laughing at.
We take Lauren in Tuesday to give birth, and we get Lauren back in the gym.
You ready?
Ready for the nanny?
You dude.
I said, you can get a nanny as long as I get to pick her. If you're gonna bring in one, why bring in one that's not enjoyable to look at? I mean, you're gonna have to have this person living in your home.
With Jeff Lowe, the suspicion is he could still face charges down the road. Rumor has it will
He
be for
should.
something much larger.
And I don't think Joe will be in a cell alone. I think other people are going too. I mean, they don't know what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm finished in this. Turn that shit off for a minute.
I've got a list of 37 names. I can shut them all down.
So what now? Is Joe gonna trade information and somehow get out on appeal? Like, this whole game is so
A lot of
messed up.
documents, like legal documents and permits, transfer papers for animals.
He was able to share information with us about wildlife trafficking, the abuse of animals that's going on behind the scenes and by a lot of the players.
Doc,
So here's one to Doc Antle. 2 male tigers.
Stop.
Oh, that's bad? Why do you think PETA hasn't really targeted you?
I'm not fucking around.
Joe told me that Doc Antle puts tiger cubs who've aged out of playtime events in a gas chamber to kill them, and then that he cremates their bodies in his on-site crematorium.
He said that feels good. Brittany was quite shocked. Because fuck, I gave her information on everybody.
I think that Joe's motivation in this case is revenge. He really wants to see a lot of the other people in the big cat trade go down with him.
They should.
Jeff and Tim are at war.
Seems like everybody starts out well with me and then it ends bad.
Yeah, and you're the common denominator there.
Tim finally figured out that Jeff Lowe doesn't have no money and he's footing the bill and he can't take it anymore.
So what happens to all these animals?
Keep your enemies closer.
Once we start trying to shut a person down, we don't stop.
When you're
What does PETA have to say about Carol's tiny cages?
Everyone involved is a so-called animal advocate. Not a single animal benefited from this war.
Everyone is lost in this.
Yeah, especially the animals.
Think of that. It has to be millions of dollars. Think of the hundreds of thousands spent investigating Joe. Think of their millions of followers, donors, and whatnot. Think of how far that could go, saving these tigers in their natural habitats.
Yes.
We've completely lost sight and lost touch of what really matters here, and that's the conservation and protection of the species of this planet.
They have a place in the world, and that's in Africa and Asia and India, not in Oklahoma.
What happened to that?
State needs to pass laws that this breeding has got to stop.
As the money rose, I think his care for the animals declined.
Are the animals happy?
No.
Who the hell knows?
Look at his face.
I finally moved my 2 chimpanzees last week. They sit in cages next to each other for over 10 years, and we moved them to the Great Ape Center in Florida. And in 2 days, they were out in a big yard hugging on each other. Did I deprive them of that for 10 years?
You did.
Yep. I deprived them of being chimpanzees.
That shot.
Did I do it on purpose? No, I was wrapped up in having a zoo.
In yourself. Seriously? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is sad. Why is this song weirdly the perfect ending? Humans are so messed up. I hate us. Is anyone not corrupt? Was there anyone who didn't have an agenda they were pushing? I guess Saf, maybe. I want to know what Jeff did. Karma's gonna come for everybody, even Howard with his brie and his champagne. I'm interested to know what things this will spur or has already set in motion. I know some detective had gone on Twitter to ask people for more tips about Carole potentially killing her husband. I don't know where I stand on that. I definitely think it's possible, but I mean, she could also just kind of be weird. I still think there's a tiger mafia, so that's kind of what I'm rolling with. I wonder if her septic tank will be unearthed. I don't know how to feel about wearing animal print anymore, honestly. I don't know if I want a movie adaptation. I know that that's been something that's been swirling around the internet. There's always that line of like, do you glorify bad things by presenting them to the larger public? You know, if they do make a movie about this, I hope they use CGI tigers to prove a point, because like Doc Antle said, and what was that, like episode 1? All these Hollywood filmmakers and producers would like reach out to him to use his animals. I'm sure I'll get yelled at for stuff that I say in the comments anyway, but just trying to be transparent as I word vomit all of my immediate thoughts. Why hasn't the Big Cat Act passed? I'm gonna Google it, shall we? Oh, the New York Times has an article, What Happened After Tiger King? In a Facebook post, Mr. Lowe said that the crowds have been huge since the Netflix show. You guys! See, that's the messed up thing, and what I was talking about with, is this glorifying something that should not be glorified? Like, if this is driving more business to these zoos, you didn't do any good there by putting this out. Aren't you supposed to measure the amount of harm? It's like one of the values of news reporting. Can they speed up the voting on the Big Cat Safety Act? You know what, maybe that's some good that will come from this. Well, I haven't read the act, so I don't know if it actually even helps, but let's just assume that it does, and maybe the popularity of this docuseries will put some more pressure on that to get passed, which could be good. I'm overthinking all of this, obviously, because I have nothing better to do with my life right now, but, you know, like they said at the end, it's really about the fact that no one wins in this, especially not the animals. And what is PETA doing, and is that helpful? Is it not helpful? Like, I don't know. I also don't know how to feel about public zoos. Like, I have to assume that they treat animals better, but like, I don't really know that. Should zoos even exist in the first place? I don't know. Sometimes the conditions in the wild aren't great, and you have to bring animals to certain rescue places or sanctuaries to help save them. And I get that, but I just think there's probably a line there. And I don't know, like, as a kid, I loved going to the zoo, but I don't know that I really needed to be able to go to a zoo. I don't know that I'd be a different person in my life. Well, maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't care so much about animal rights. Who knows? I'm getting way too deep about this. I apologize. I do still wonder, though, if people who own these 5,000 to 10,000 tigers that are in captivity in the US right now, if they feel bad at all about what they're doing, and they just don't know what to do now because they already have them. The solution's definitely not killing them, obviously. It's sad. And the thing that I guess I forgot, too, in the midst of all this, is that these are basically just cults. Like, there's just that whole thing. Like, oh, God. I can't believe this was only 7 episodes. It feels like I just watched, like, a 18-hour movie. Moral of the story, everything's messed up. So all you can really do is just not have tigers in your backyard. Thanks to everybody for watching along with me, or watching me watch Tiger King. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see anything else from me. And if you're just needing more reaction content, our managing director, Sean O'Connell, is still going strong with a Westworld reaction series. We drop new videos for that every Monday, so be sure to check those out. What do you guys watch after this? Like, what do I watch now that I've watched this? Let me know. Also, if you are in Las Vegas and a guy approaches you and says, do you want to play with a baby tiger? I don't care how drunk you are. Say no. Don't be part of the problem.